الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Hello my dear brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Today we want to talk about doubts in daily prayers. Sometimes when you when you're in the middle of your prayer, all of a sudden you can't remember which rak'ah were you praying, or you have a doubt in whether you have or haven't done ruku' or sajda. These are doubts in prayers. There are different types of doubts. First, there is doubt in elements of prayer. And this type itself has two different kinds. First, you have a doubt that whether or not have done the part, the element, or not. For example, you can remember if you have done ruku' or not. Or in another case, you cannot quite remember if you have done the part correctly. You're not sure. The ruku' you are sure that you have done was correct or wasn't. The other type of doubts in prayer are doubts in the numbers of raka'at. You cannot remember you were doing the first, second, third, or fourth rak'ah. You're not sure you were doing the third or fourth. This is very common. Or sometimes even you're not sure that you are doing the fifth rak'ah of a 4 rak'ah prayer, or no, you were in the fourth one, the last rak'ah. You're not sure if you have done 1 rak'ah more than you had to do or not. Doubts in number of rak'at of a prayer, there are different types of them. First of all, there are some invalid doubts that they invalidate your prayer. There are some kind of doubts that they are valid. You can still continue your prayer while having them. And there are some doubts that you must ignore. You shouldn't pay attention to those doubts. We'll discuss each one of those types individually. And the last type of doubts are doubts in the prayer itself. Just like the first one, there are two cases inside of this. First of all, you have doubts whether or not you have done your prayer, or the other case is you are not sure if you have done your prayer correctly or not. These are all different types of doubts in prayer. First of all is doubt in elements and parts of a prayer. There are 3 questions in doubt in elements of a prayer. First of all, if you have a doubt whether or not you have done a part, an element of your prayer, when you haven't started the next element of your prayer, you must go back and redo that element you have doubts on it. For example, you are doing your recitation, your qira'ah, and you're not sure whether or not in the previous rak'ah you have done your tashahhud or not. So if you haven't started bowing to go to ruku', you have to go back. It means you have to sit down and do your tashahhud and stand up again, finish your recitation, and then go to the ruku'. But if you already started bowing, and it means you've started the next element, and it's a fundamental element of your prayer, you shouldn't pay attention to your doubt, and you must ignore your doubt and continue with your prayer. If you had doubts about whether or not you've done a part, an element of your prayer correctly, and you have passed the element, you shouldn't pay attention to that doubt and you should ignore it. So, when you are going to your sujood and you already have sat down and you can't remember whether or not you've done your ruku' correctly or not, you shouldn't pay attention. And also, if you had doubts that whether or not you've done your ruku' or not, because you've passed the element, you shouldn't pay attention to that, and you must continue with your prayer. In the next session, we will talk about invalidate doubts in prayer and what we should do on those situations. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.